Today we will be discussing with His Royal Highness Alh Ismaila Mohammed, Mfr Sarkin Karshi. We'll be talking on the current security situation in the country. We'll also be talking about culture and also what advice does it have for the leaders of tomorrow? Have the traditional rulers played a very vital role in this current dispensation? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the interview segment. And remain your regular host, Princess Abigail Amalaka for Supremacy TV.
The past 21 years that I've been here, there are too many memorable things that have happened that one cannot single out anyone to say this is the most memorable. But events are happening every day. But of course, probably if one may mention one, the most recent is this question of insecurity that has become prominent now in the country, especially here in FCT2 in recent times. It's been the major challenge, not just for me, I think, but for all the chiefdoms in the FCT. This security situation is not peculiar to the FCT. Indeed, the FCT is probably less of a problem than some parts of the country. But as you know very well, all agencies are also trying their best. The security agent, the police, the Director of State Services, the administration, whether the Federal Capital Territory Administration, which is the government in the FCT. And then we have area councils, 6 of them, and the chairmen are supposed to be the chief security officers of these area councils. And then, of course, we have in all the villages and towns in the FCT, we have divisional police commands. And indeed, in all the area councils, we have senior officers of the state security service that are there. And even our domains, we have officers of the SSS that stay here with us. Since these challenges came up, we have a committee which meets every last Thursday of the month. Now, this committee comprises of all the village heads under my domain. It also comprises of all the district heads under my domain. My councillors, my title holders, senior title holders are also members of this broad committee. And at that meeting, all of them will be here, including the Fulanis. These Fulanis also at various levels of the village heads also have their leaders. So we have the village heads, we have the Ardos, that's the chiefs of the Fulanis in all these villages. We have the district heads, we have my councillors, and we meet. And then we invite, of course, the DPO and the officer from the State Security Service. And we review security challenges and issues that had arisen in each of these villages within the last 1 month. And then we now suggest what we can do to arrest some of these challenges. Also, we have a mechanism in place which we try to apply to resolve some of these issues before they get out of hand. For instance, if there's a problem between any particular person, not just Fulanis, we have a lot of people living around here, I know this FCT, and it may be land-related or problems that have to do with religious problems and all that. We ask the village here to try and settle at its own level. Then if it's something they could not settle, they'll go to the district head. The district head is usually in charge of a number of villages. So you have a number of village heads under the supervision of particular district head. Most of the times, these problems are resolved before they come to me. But the monthly meeting we have is very useful. We also get a lot of information. And any movement now around this chiefdom we know. I personally have the telephone numbers of all the village heads in my domain. Of course, have the telephone numbers of all my district heads, and we've asked them to monitor people who are coming to these places, especially those who are coming to settle. We've asked them to monitor them, and if we have people that we are not sure of, who are coming here to settle, not just Fulanis, and they are coming in large number, we ask them to move. We do not allow them to settle. Some of them may say to us they have been displaced in other areas of conflict, and we say to them, no, we can't profile you because we are not security agencies, and you will have to move. We have been doing this. Indeed, if there's any movement around here, I can assure within 1 hour we'll get to know, because we've sensitized our people in the farms and all that to let us know. There are instances where it has been extremely helpful to us. So good so far that so far here in my chiefdom, we have not recorded a single case of kidnapping or armed banditry here. But I must also say we pray a lot, because here we believe in prayers, and we complement our efforts by praying. And I also have to thank the security. We have very close collaboration. The Commissioner of Police, the Director of SSS, and of course our minister are people we reach within minutes. And anytime we have cause to call them, they will always pick the phone, no matter the time of the day, including our minister. And most of us, our phones are always, of course, kept open. We also give them sensitive advice in private. And so it's been a very, very useful collaboration that we have had with the security agencies. We sit with the boundary with Nasarawa State, and in this particular place, it's a little hidden. So we know that it could be easy for people to commit crime somewhere and run here. So we collaborate with them very well. It has also been useful. The religious groups too. All the religious groups here, of course, for instance, we take the Christian group here. They have a CAN president who represents them at the local chapter here. We have our own Islamic groups too. There are various sects, just like you have in the Christian. So we also have a committee headed by our chief imam, and we reach out to them through the leadership of the various religious groups. So these are the few things we have been trying to do to keep the peace here. It's part of general hygiene, and I think it's not applicable only to Karshi. In most rural areas, you find out people find it difficult a good number of people not have toilets in their houses, including other parts of Nigeria. I think it's a problem that's peculiar to all of us in Nigeria, where people, especially in the village, and not just children, even adults, men and women will run into the bush to ease themselves instead of just doing a pit latrine, which is not expensive. You dig it the way you normally would dig a well. So because the modern one, you probably have to do a soak away, and then that will cost you money and all that. Yes, before modern, everybody is open defecation, including in Europe, before the age of enlightenment. Toilets itself, modern toilet has a very recent history. Modern toilet, I see it. So before, maybe in the last 100 years or less, most places, but as urbanization grow, houses are around the place, you can't, because there's no bush around for you to go. You have to do the toilet. But in small communities, they would rather just, because maybe their own mentality is that, look, this is waste. So why keep waste inside your house? I understand that we are now number one, in the whole world. I understand India used to be one, but we have a large population, so we'll always be number one. Oh. When they say Nigeria has the highest number of out-school children, so this open defecation is something that we have been fighting here in Karshi. And we are saying, look, build toilets. But they will have to build. They have been building because with urbanization, they will be surrounded by houses. So there will be no immediate bush for them to dash into to ease themselves. So it's inevitable. They must do it, and they are doing it. Toilets. In fact, a good number of them understand now have soccer waste. So this is something that is just part of the things that rural communities are trying to contend with. This is just one of it. There are so many. The rural communities in Africa and Nigeria are trying to grapple with. No, very, very fortunately, we have not had a single problem. We have not had any communal. The only problem we have sometimes is when there is going to be an election here, which I think is applicable to all parts of the country. There are a lot of stress about people, so there is always tension when the elections are around the corner. And that has nothing to do with any particular tribe or religion. These parties cut across to ethnic groups and all that. So, but we have been very, very, very fortunate. No such thing, either between us or amongst us, or between we and the non-indigenous who live with us. Not at all. That would be an unfair. You cannot ask somebody to write an exam and then give him the script and ask him to mark it. You understand? But on the whole, this is not important because, usually you just do your best. Once you think you are doing your best, it's posterity that will usually. It's even entirely possible that while you are still there, people will think you are not even doing well, you are not doing enough. And we have seen that in the country, where people in the past, this is the worst president Nigeria has ever had. Then after a while, say, no, actually, he might be the best. You understand? And we now say, no, he actually might be the best president, or he's not the worst. So that's human nature for you. The important thing is just do your best and don't bother about what, but obviously one cannot begin to rate himself. Our answer is obvious. It's employment for these youths. That's all. No more, don't add, don't subtract. For good reason. One, in FCT, we are very educationally backward. Before the FCT was created in 1970, there was a single secondary school here. All the secondary schools you see here in FCT were established in 1981. So before 1981, there was not a single secondary school in this FCT. So this will give a graphic picture of how educationally backward we are. And it's applicable to all the tribes, so not just Bagis, everybody you see here. So in a way you can say we're all illiterates here. So the few of us, or the few of our children who are able to acquire some basic skills or education, and then when they come out, they stay at home for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and they don't have work. It serves as a disincentive for other parents that we are trying to encourage to send their children to school. And the answer is, but Your Highness, I had 10. And here we have a lot of children. We have 3, 4 wives. All of us you see here, the average person here is 3 wives, so we have a lot of children. So they say to you, I have 8 or 7 out of who are graduates or NC or diploma. and none of them is working, has been able to find a job. And you are now saying that I should pay fees for these younger ones. It's not better I just take them to the farm so that at least they can engage in farming and we can. So it's difficult to convince them. And then secondly, is that there can be a nuisance. If they are out of school and they are at home and they are not doing anything, they become easy prey for recruitment, for all sorts of, all sorts of things. In the last 20 years, we've tried to do our best. We did many things, including a scholarship that I personally instituted, for which I was actually given national honors during the Eredua. So, and then we got people to sponsor people. So we did a lot of things. And we have lots and lots of them who are NCE, who are OND, OND and HND. We also have lots of graduates, lots of in the liberal arts, a few in engineering and computer sciences. But they are just here with us, they are not working. So if I have any regret, so to say, or if there's something I wish I would have done better as a community leader, is to get these children, to fix them in places. We are trying, but it comes in trickle. So if you are lucky, you have 10 boys at a point, you get one slot. I have a very radical view, in fact, almost offensive view about this thing you just asked. I don't subscribe to putting any role for the dictionaries and the Constitution. That will only drag us further into politics, and it's not good for us. I think the farther they insulate us from politics, the better for us. The solution to this is to take the experience of the practice in Ghana and say that these traditional institutions have absolutely nothing to do with the government, state government or local government. In other words, they should abrogate this decree, what they call, all these states adopted the Northern Nigerian Chiefs Appointment and Deposition Act. They will just adopt in their various states. And it's prescribed that the premier of Northern Nigeria, as the authority, the kingmakers will choose. Sometimes they even ask you to choose 3 people, and then they finally choose one, and then you recommend to, and then subsequently they will appoint and all that, and you'll be sworn in, like you are sworn in a governor and all that. And then you are subject to the government whims and caprices, if you like, partly because you have an appointment letter from government appointing or confirming your appointment, and you draw salary like a civil servant from government. They buy you vehicles, they maintain your palace, they house you, and all that. So, but what I think should be done is, okay, you are on your own. Government will not pay you any salary. Government will not maintain your palace or even build one for you. Government will not buy any vehicle. You are not part of government. Your community should cater for you. We've been here for 600 years, since 1366, and it's only that government recognized us. But we have always been here. And I'm the 27th of the chiefs in Karshi. I can assure you the people love their traditional rulers. They will maintain them. That is the only solution I see to this problem. Otherwise, most of us will continue to be subjected to, you know, the problem that some of us are now facing with people in government, especially where you have educated people becoming emirs and chiefs, and people who resist looking the other way if they think that things are not going well. The problem. But this solution is going to be difficult to achieve because the governors, I assume, may not want to let the traditional rulers go on their way because they do know that they need us. Not just in terms of when they are looking for electoral votes, but in terms of security. I can assure you that without trying to praise ourselves, believe me, Nigerians don't have sufficient understanding of the kind of contribution we make to the peace and stability of the country. Otherwise, they will be, oh wow, they will be saluting us, doing Dubale for us in the streets when we walk around. You understand? Yes. So we are doing a lot to prevent certain things from happening. You know, and nobody, I repeat, no traditional ruler in any part of the country or part of the world would want his chiefdom or emirate or kingdom to have problems. Because if there is no peace in your place, you can't also enjoy your reign. So we are more concerned, let me tell you, and I assure you, are more concerned than people in government for the stability of our chiefdoms. Because we are the first in the line of defense. We are very concerned. Because we know it will immediately affect the people who live around us. And that's why we are really, really trying our best to keep the peace and to collaborate with government agencies to ensure that there is peace all over the country. Well, you know, the relations has been very good, to be honest with you. Right now, there are 17 government-recognized chiefdoms, 17 in the FCT. We meet every quarter. That's the FCT Council of Chiefs, once a quarter. Unless, of course, there's an emergency meeting, there's something that's come up, then we would, of course, meet. And we review things. Every chief will present a report about the activities of his chiefdom. And then, of course, the government people in the Department of Area Council and Chieftaincy Affairs, they will be represented, they will take notes. And all our recommendations will be passed to the minister. That in the last meeting, this is what we discussed, this is what, chiefdom by chiefdom, to be recorded and all that. But also, the minister routinely call on us, all of us, to meet with him and review events in the FCT, but also particularly as concerned each of our chiefdoms. We will brief him, and you know, they will also tell us certain things. If they have anything, they call us. We also give them, and that is why the work comes, because you'll be surprised if you are to be on this meeting, the kind of information and the kind of things we do. So many things. So many things. So many things. The DPOs, the Commissioner of Police, will also present, but also at the local government level. There's what we call Peace and Security Committee at all the area councils. We meet once a month, all the area councils. And all graded traditional rulers are members of that Peace and Security of the area council. All the DPOs in that area council are members. So every month, every DPO, like DPO Karshi, will present a report. In the last 1 month, this has happened, detailed report. And then every DPO, and then the SSS officer will also be there. Immigration, civil defense, all the agencies will be there. And then there will be an elaborate discussion. Then those minutes of meetings too will be sent as a director in charge of security. I'm just giving the structure. Director of security FCT will also have a copy. So there are a lot of structures in place, at least the one I know in the FCT, in resource security, and these are ongoing, round the clock. And that is why I think we must give credit to the minister in particular too, and our area council chairman, quite frankly, for their efforts in trying to seize to, because we are mindful that this is the seat of the federal government. Thank my people for the peaceful nature of the way I've been living with people who are here with us, and to appeal to them to continue to cooperate with us so that Karshi, in particular, will remain the reference point of other satellite towns, especially in terms not just peace, but in terms of the development I see around. And part of the development you see around here is also because they know we are very peaceful people. Otherwise, they'll say, no, don't take that kind of project to Karshi. And we have a lot of NGOs to come in here. They recommend them from there and say, no, go to Karshi. Go and do this every day. And we have been benefiting from it. And I tell them, look, it's because we are living peacefully here. So please, I encourage them to continue to maintain the peace and be our brothers' keepers.